Dr. Clarence Winder, who is Provost and Chief Academic Officer of the University, who will speak on this occasion from the standpoint of the University. Dr. Winder.
This morning, it's my honor to be here on behalf of the university to officially inform the American Society of Agricultural Engineers that Michigan State University has named a major building on this campus, the Arthur W. Farrall Agricultural Engineering Hall. This is in recognition of the extraordinary contributions made by Professor A.W. Farrall during the years when he provided the leadership here, those years 1945 to 1964, and his many contributions since 1964. I know that the American Society of Agricultural Engineers recognizes Professor Farrall, as does Michigan State University, as a national and international pace setter and innovator. Seldom do words serve adequately to convey the significance of a professional career of such distinction. Professor Farrall is a founder of your profession. He is one of the designers and builders of the modern era of this great land-grant university. As is fitting and proper, on June 4th, 1984, the faculty of the Department of Agricultural Engineering here voted unanimously to recommend that their building be named the A.W. Farrall Agricultural Engineering Hall. On October 5th, 1984, the Board of Trustees of Michigan State University concurred and approved that name for the building. Professor Farrall, for all of the contributions that you have made, we thank you most sincerely.
It's my pleasure at this time to present to you Dr. John A. Hanna, President Emeritus, who was responsible for convincing Dr. Farrall that he should cast his lot with Michigan State University. Dr. Hanna.
It's a great pleasure to be invited to participate in this program this morning. It is a thrill to see that what has happened, what is likely to happen, and to recognize that all of this is due to the leadership of a few people. And one of those people, as far as this university is concerned, was the man that we honor now, Professor Arthur Farrall. I was the new president back in '41, and we were talking about the land-grant universities of the future, the emphasis on people, and the commitment that we wanted this university to become as good as it could become, and recognize that that would be determined entirely by the ability and the competence of the bright people that could be brought together to participate in it. And what we're interested in is tomorrow and tomorrow's tomorrow. And if there are bright people interested in folks, interested in helping people like Arthur Farrall and the others that are here today, America and the world will be much better than it may otherwise be. Thank you.
We would now like to pay tribute to a special lady, and I'd like to ask Mrs. Farrall. Luella, would you stand? Mrs. Farrall, we present these roses to you simply as a token of our appreciation and love for you because of your special interest in students, both undergraduate and graduate, your interest and support of this faculty. You're loved and admired all across this country. We do appreciate you, and we are delighted to have you as part of this ceremony this morning. I'd like to now recognize the Farrall family. I'd like to ask Elmer Longnecker and Margaret to please stand. Margaret is the daughter of the Farralls.
Over the years, my father has certainly achieved and won many awards and many honors, but I don't think there's any that would approach that of today. This really is the pinnacle of his 60-some years as an agricultural engineer. It certainly started a long time ago, and I think the naming of this building particularly is so important to him because the Ag Hall is not just a building that he worked in. This is a building he worked with the architects designing it to make sure it had the facilities that the engineers would need, both then and now. He worked with the construction people. I think every night we made a visit over here as the building was built, making sure the bricks were right and the light fixtures were in the right place. And during that time, he also worked on the staff to increase it and worked on the new curriculum that would help make Michigan State University the leader in ag engineering that it is. And finally, in 1948, it all came together. And from there, of course, you know what happened. And the university's department here became a world leader in the area of agricultural engineering. I asked my father what he thought was most important over these years, and what he said, it was service. Service to the people of Michigan, to the agricultural industry all over the country, and of course, most important, to the students. Because after all, that's the real purpose, is to educate young men and women to be good agricultural engineers. And I think that is probably his proudest achievement are those students. And I know many of you here today fit in that category. I can never remember coming home for a visit when he would not take the time to show a clipping or tell me a story about how some student was now the head of his own ag engineering department, or had invented a new machine, or maybe had written a new book. He is very, very proud of all of you. And I think, like all true educators, his greatest joy in life has been to see the students and staff grow and go out in the world and continue to push the frontiers of knowledge ahead. So he can take a rest now and let you do the work. So on behalf of my father and the family, I'd like to thank Provost Widner and the trustees for making this wonderful honor possible. It is something we certainly will always remember. And to Dean Anderson and Chairman Edwards, I know you had a very busy week here to fit us in. It couldn't have been a nicer thing, because after 61 years of coming to ag engineering meetings, there could be no more appropriate day to have this honor than at this meeting. And Dr. Hanna, I don't know what we can say about you. You're the one that really made all this happen. If you hadn't shared in my father's visions in 1945, and you hadn't gone and fought the battle with the legislatures and the trustees to get the money to do it, none of this could have happened. So we certainly owe a great deal to you. And with that, thank you.